Okay guys, today I am fixing some ribs. So right now I'm going to prepare the meat, get them all cleaned and washed up, and I'm going to trim the fat, but I'll do that after I washed it up. And I actually am going to save the fat because I want to use the fat for something else. And these do have like like this one has a bone. Some of the first ones, like this one, doesn't have a bone. So I'm actually going to be separating them. The ones that have the bone in them, I'm going to use them for another dish. And I usually rinse my packaging before I throw it in the trash because I don't want the trash to start stinking before the bag is full and we have a chance to throw it out. So as you can see right here, we have the ribs, and we're going to go ahead and give them a nice little rub. Get the blood off, and then we're going to let them soak. And so now we're going to put these back in here. We're going to use some white vinegar. Give them a little toss. I'm actually going to rinse this one. Because what I'm going to do is the ones that have the bone in them, I'm not going to fix them right now. So the ones after they soak, the ones that have the bone in them, I'm going to put them in this dish here and get them prepared for me to cook. And I'll be back. Okay, you guys, I am back. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the ones that have the bone in them, because the ones that don't have the bone, I'm going to treat it like stew meat. And the reason I'm pulling these out and I'm not rinsing them off is because once I get out the ones that I want to use, I'm going to put the ones with the bones in them back in to soak. The ones that have the bones in them, I am going to treat just, you know, as ribs. So I'm just going to cook them, you know, like you normally would cook ribs. But the ones that, like this one, you know, it doesn't have any bone in it, I am going to pull that excess fat off and cut it up. So this one has a bone, but the bone is kind of small, so I think I'm just going to cut around the bone. So yeah, so let's go ahead and start trimming the fat. And again, I'm gonna, this is not the best place to be cutting this meat, but I want to be able to sink. Again, I'm gonna save the fat because I'm actually going to use the fat for something else. So here is, these two pieces have bone in them, but I'm not going to worry about it because, again, I'm just gonna cut it up, and I want to cut it up into chunks, nice healthy pieces. Okay, and then once we do this, I'm going to rinse these off really well. And as you can see, the fat is already started to separate here. So I get in there real good with the knife, and then I lay the fat down over the top and just kind of pull the knife through. And I'm going to take off the majority of the fat. I'm not going to take off all the fat because I want the ribs to render some fat in the dish. That'll help in the cooking process. You want to make sure that your knife is sharp enough because the meat is slippery, and the last thing you want to do is cut yourself. So you see how I left a little fat on there. I think I'm going to take off just a little bit more. I don't want to take off too much more, but yeah, if I see, if I take that off, you just got that little piece of meat. So that's good. And then this one, you see how that is? And that's the vinegar starting to break down the fat. Just be extra careful when you're doing something silly like what I'm doing, cutting on the side of the sink like this. Because you see the cutting board teeter-totters, but I'm not trying to rush through anything. So I'm just taking my time, making sure not to put too much pressure on certain parts of the board. Yeah, you see how the vinegar is really breaking it down. And a good thing about this is, like, if you don't have bacon and you're fixing a dish where you might need bacon fat or something like that, that's what this fat is also good for. You need some kind of pork fat. So you can actually use this for greens or whatever. So I don't know if you can see that, but that water is starting to really get nasty. So here's another piece that's already coming apart. Right, and so now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna get a bowl and separate the fat from the ribs for me to use later. So I'll put it in this container here. And again, I'm not rinsing this because I can always go back and rinse it later. Right now, I'm just trying to process the meat first. Okay, so that looks like all the fat that's in there. So now we're going to give this a good rinse. I got my strainer right here. Let me pour the water off first. Get the meat nice and clean. And I'm gonna, while this is running over that, I'm going to wash the bowl real quick. As I rinse the pieces, I'm going to put these back in here. And today, the way that I'm preparing these, I'm going to use my Instapot. And normally, what I want to happen is I want the meat to cook, but I don't want it to cook till it's falling apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it for 30 minutes first. I'm going to check it and see if I need to let it go for another 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the doneness of the meat. Because once I check it on 30 minutes, the pot is going to still be on, so it'll still be cooking. So I want to really pay attention to the doneness of the meat at 30 minutes to make sure that the meat is not going to be overcooked and it's not going to be falling apart. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit, wash my hands real quick, and I'm going to take y'all to the next step of the process. Don't forget, we still got the fat over here, and we still got the ribs with the bone that I'll be preparing a little later. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. And so now we're going to go ahead and season the meat. And what I'm using is some Sazon Complete Seasoning. Using a little cayenne pepper, a little garlic powder, onion powder, some cumin, paprika, black pepper, and I'm using a little bit of liquid smoke. Guys, please be extra careful when you're using liquid smoke for two reasons. One, if you put too much liquid smoke, it completely ruins your dish. There's no salvaging it. You can't wash it off. It is just, it's messed up. And it has a really strong chemical-like taste to it when you use too much. The second thing is because it's high in sodium, so you don't want to overdo it. And then I'm going to use a little Worcestershire sauce. So let's go ahead and get these in. And while the meat was soaking, I went ahead and I cut up some onions, some bell pepper. And these are baby bellas that came already sliced. And I just left those the way that they are. And the reason that I didn't do too much to the bell pepper, to the mushrooms, is because, honey, they only last leg. And I was trying to make sure that I was able to use the last of what I had before they went bad. So this is your cayenne. And this is the garlic powder. Onion powder. Cumin. Paprika. I love the, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Ooh, had to step away. Excuse me, y'all. I love the smoked paprika. Oh my goodness, I guess that was the cayenne that must have went up my nose. I love the flavor of the smoked paprika. This is black pepper. I'm going to put in the Worcestershire sauce first. And this is not even open. Let me check, because I think I might have one in the fridge. Open. Yep, got one already open, and it's just enough. So I'm just going to pour the last of that in there. I shouldn't have to put any more. And then for the liquid smoke, for the amount of meat that I have, I'm just going to put a little cap full, because I just want a trace of it. I don't want the dish to be overwhelmed. and I don't want to have any issues. So now I'm going to go ahead and mix this with my hands. And I like mixing my seasoned meat by hand because it helps to massage the seasoning into the meat. So we don't want to handle it too much because we don't want it too rough. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and wash my hands. And this is my insert for my Instapot. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and put in my vegetables, put in the meat on top of that, and then I'm going to go turn the pot on and get it going. Actually, let me do that now. That way it's already warming up. So I have 1.5 onions. I don't really know how much baby butter mushrooms that is. And a few of the little, look at me dropping stuff all over the place. A few of the little bite-sized bell peppers. And I'm putting in my veggies first so that it can be on the bottom of the container. So that, let me grab this. So that the meat is not in direct contact with the vessel. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in. And I want all my yummy goodness to go in there with that. Nothing wasted. Okay. So now we're going to go over to the Instapot. I'm going to put this in here like that. And then we're going to put our top on, lock it, and then make sure this is down so your steam don't escape. And so I'm going to put it on. Here's 30 minutes right here. So I'm going to put it on 30 minutes. And then I'm going to come back and release the steam and then open this. And so we'll be right back. And now, guys, we are back at the sink. And I want to deal with the ribs that are have the bone in them. So I'm just checking these. So like this one doesn't have any fat to trim. That one's okay. This one's okay. This one has some fat to trim. So trying to make sure I don't take off too much of the meat. Okay. So that's that for the ones that have the bone. And so now it's time to give these a good rinse. gonna take these over to the other side, get them seasoned up and prepped. One moment. Try my hands. Okay, we're back, and I'm not going to use the liquid smoke or Worcestershire sauce for these because I don't want that flavor. I just want them nice and seasoned. And the reason being is because these are actually going to go in the oven to bake. And I'm going to most likely put barbecue sauce on them. So I just want to get them coated with the layer of seasoning. And more than likely, I'm going to serve these with either sliced potato wedges, sliced oven baked potato wedges, or I'm going to serve it with baked potato. Haven't decided. The other dish that I have in the Instapot, can't talk, will probably be served with rice. Not sure. We'll see. So yeah, so just gonna toss those. Like I said before, I like using my hands because it makes sure that the meat is nice and coated with the seasoning. And then, since there's only 4 of these, I'm just gonna go ahead and just lay these in here like this. And just make sure I get all the yummy goodness out of the bowl. And I am not going to cook these today. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put foil over the top of these. And I'm going to put these in the refrigerator to let them marinate because this is what we're going to have for dinner tomorrow. So I got 2 meals out of 1 pack of ribs. It's only me and my husband. So it's easy peasy for me to split packs of meat like that into a couple of meals. So I'm going to go ahead and get these covered in foil and into the refrigerator. And then I'll come back and show you the finished product with the Instant.
Just happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad, I've been bad.
Okay guys, so we are back and we're ready to check on our meat. And I had to check that I released the steam already, and so now we're gonna take the top off. And I had to check on the Instapot, y'all, because I thought maybe my breaker tripped because I didn't see didn't seem like the power was on. So yeah, so I'm gonna lift y'all up so you can see in the pot. You see how everything looks, and this is after 30 minutes, you guys. So I think I'm gonna have to, I can't tell from in the pot, so I'm gonna have to take a piece out and cut it and see what we're looking like, because I don't think it needs to go anymore, but I need to check. Okay, so I've got a piece and I'm just gonna check it. Oh yeah, that's done. We don't have to do anything else to it. Nice and tender. Yep, I think we're good to go. And I also think that I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. So let me let y'all see one more time. This is what we're looking like. So these are ribs. I took out the ones that didn't have a bone, and I went ahead and cut them up into chunks, put the onion, bell pepper, and mushrooms in, and so now we're done. We have a nice meal. We're gonna serve this, go ahead and serve this with rice. And I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic, and that's gonna do it. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you hanging in there with your girl. We trying to do this Vlogmas thing. I hope y'all happy with the content that's going up, because not all videos that are going up are vlogs. They're just pre-recorded content. So I'm trying to give you something every day, even though I said I wasn't going to do Vlogmas, but I'm doing it anyway. So anyway, that's going to do it. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, but you know we don't do so without saying, love yourself, love somebody else, and until next time, y'all love on that yummy goodness. Bye.